Hey everybody, Angel Benton here, and tonight I'm going to do something a little bit different. Normally, I only talk about shows that are currently on the air. However, tonight I'm going to do a very special little 10-minute ditty where we're going to talk about a show that is starting next week, and that show is Dancing with the Stars. Okay, now before I even begin, I need to explain a little something. Okay. I call it dancing for relevancy, okay? And the reason why I call it dancing for relevancy is because I am a huge fan of Michael K, who writes DListed.com. If you ever need to know anything about any celebrity, you need to read DListed.com. It is the best. And it has been the best for at least 10 years. Like, it is hilarious. And he has a couple new people that work for him, and they are getting his sense of humor, and they're pretty good too. But Michael K, I swear to God, he has to be from my neighborhood, around my age. Like, I swear we must have hung out because we have like the same experiences. It's really crazy. And he did this one post many years ago where he called the show Dancing for Relevancy, and I loved it because I thought it was true. I mean, it was really a show about people who were huge stars way back in the day and are, trying to get relevant again, or they're people who are clawing their way up the ladder and trying to get relevant. And it was great. But be very clear. I love the show. Okay, I am obsessed. Now, at first, I mean, the first season, I watched the first season, and it was very. I'm glad that they've eased up on a lot of the rules that they had that first season, because that first season it was kind of boring. So I'm glad that they've kind of eased up on the rules a little bit, and that they've allowed a little bit more creativity, because I think that a lot of people will really shine a lot more than they would have in the past as the show has evolved. Because after that first season, I would only watch maybe if I heard someone was doing something special, or if Michael K had mentioned something on his blog, and I would then go watch and see what he was talking about, those types of things. So I didn't really start watching again until Wendy Williams. Love Wendy Williams. How do I love her? She was on the show, and she was so excited. So she had everyone, all of her viewers, all of her Wendy watchers. I am still one of them. Watch the show. So I watched, and I was voting for Wendy. And let me tell you, I love me some Wendy, but girl, girl, you know what I'm going to say. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Really, bless. I love her to death, though. I really do. Because she did bring me back to the show. So I started watching the show every single season. And it's on twice a year. So I thought that was great, right? One thing I find very interesting, now I don't actually really watch for the stars. I watch more for the pros, because the pros are the ones who come back season after season after season, and regardless of what star they is, you kind of root for the pro. It's not just a competition for the star, it's for the pro as well. Now, having said that, if you go online, and as I did when I was researching the show today not today, because I had to work today, and I had a long day of work today, and it was unfortunate. But when I got home from work, I started researching the show, and some of the people that follow the pros are a little fanatical. Like this year, Derek Huff is coming back. He's been gone for a little while. I think for a couple of seasons just for one season. Just last season he was gone. But he's back now. And there are people, I swear to God, he could go out on stage and take a huge crap in the middle of the stage and smear it on someone's face, and they'd be like, oh my God, it's art. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong, he is extremely talented. In fact, he's a little scary talented. I just don't think he's, that great. There's lots of great guys on that show. Mark Ballas, who is not going to be on this season, I think he's another one that is incredibly talented as well. He's another one, though, that he likes to push the boundaries of the rules, and he likes to let his creativity get away with him sometimes. And I think also with Mark, he has a tendency to. Here's the thing. Here's the difference between Derek and Mark, because they're both incredible dancers and they're both super hot also. But the thing is that Mark has a tendency to do the most, right? And sometimes he gets a partner that will meet him there, that will come to his level, and they will dance just as hard as he does, right? Like Chelsea Kane is a good example. I thought she was a great partner for Mark. Um, those are the types of people that he can, mold, and that will be willing to work with him, those types of things. And then there are some other ones where it's not working out that much. And his being so good makes them look really bad. So Derek is different in the respect that instead of having someone come up to his level, if his level is way above them, I think he just kind of tones it down a little to get closer to the stars level, but still kind of push them. I mean, the guy's won like 7 times. That's a little crazy. But super hot. Love him. Love Mark Ballas. I love Val. Val is the one I think because this season he is paired. Let's see. Tonight I am drinking Kinky Blue. Okay, there we go. Kinky Blue, which you would think that Kinky sponsors this little program, but it doesn't, I promise. At least not yet. So this year Val is with, who is Val with? Okay, Val's with a gymnast named Lori Hernandez. Now, typically speaking, the gymnasts always do very well. Shawn Johnson, perfect example, right? But the thing is, and this is actually going to go into a little bit of a different tangent, but so they had that season where it was the All-Stars. And they had all these people from various seasons, whether they were winners or not, they come back. And Melissa Rycroft ended up winning with Tony Dovolani, which good for Tony. You know what? I love me some Tony. Tony reminds me of kind of like the lost brother of, he's like the halfway between the Osmonds and the Jonases. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever think that? I think that. But anyways, I think Tony's an amazing dancer, and especially if you watch, not necessarily the numbers that he does with the stars, because let's be real, he must be the old lady whisperer, because they always give him old ladies, right? But except for Melissa Rycroft. And the reason why he had Melissa Rycroft was because he was with Nancy O'Dell. Now, Nancy O'Dell, who, again, someone else I love. Okay, I was the Japanese Nancy O'Dell for a year. Okay, so I love her. I think she's that's a huge compliment to me. But the thing about that is she's a lot closer to his age than Melissa Rycroft was. So she was, because Nancy O'Dell got hurt before the show started, they replaced her with Melissa Rycroft. And once he had that partner that was so much younger, he could actually do something, because his lifts that he does, his lifts are impeccable. But Carrie Ann, and I love me some Carrie Ann. I've loved her ever since the Madonna days when they did, the girly show. She was in that, right? And Fly Girls, she was a Fly Girl too. Loved her there too. But she's a fucking stickler when it comes to them lifts. If it's not a dance that is allowed lifts, she will be like, no. And marked off a point. And I kind of like that, actually. I like Carrie Ann. I like Bruno. At first it used to annoy me that every single time Bruno talked about someone, he would have to stand up. I mean, really? Sit your ass down, queen. I mean, seriously. No, I love you, Bruno. But now I kind of like it. I dig it. That's part of his personality. That's part of his charm. Len is my favorite. So when Len came back last year, I was thrilled. Because the show was not the same without Len. I know people think he's grumpy, and I don't think that at all. I think he is probably the most with it of all of the judges. He knows his shit better than anybody else. So I think that he is great. Now, in terms of the stars this year, let's see. Oh, Cheryl Burke. Okay, here's the thing. I love Cheryl Burke, but I do refer to her as Mophead because Michael K refers to her as Mophead. It's just a nickname. It doesn't really mean anything derogatory. So I'm not trying to shade Cheryl Burke. I love Cheryl Burke, you know. So I just wanted to say that a lot of people they read my tweets and then they take things out of context. Like if I like one, oh, I'll never forget one time I had the nerve to say something bad about Tamar Braxton. It was the episode where she said that she was the best dancer on the show. Right? I was like, girl, did you seriously just say that? And I put hashtag dancing for relevancy because I put that for all of my tweets for that show. And I have ever since I started watching with Wendy Williams, right? And of course, Twitter went crazy on me and saying, well, she has 2 kids and 5 blogs, 5 jobs and blah, blah, blah. And how are you relevant? And it's like, you are totally missing the point. Read my Twitter because you'll see I labeled that, I did that hashtag for every single one of my tweets. So there's nothing against Cheryl Burke. I love Cheryl Burke. Although I am a little bit, even though I'm very glad that Emma Slater is coming back. I love Emma Slater, but they paired her with Rick Perry, former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Oh my God. She's not going to be lasting that long on the show. And the first one to go, I believe, will be Cheryl Burke not because she's awful, because she's not. She's incredible. But I think because she's got Ryan Lochte as a partner. Yeah, Ryan Lochte, the same Ryan Lochte who went on a little spree in Rio that was very unfortunate and made us look all like ugly Americans. You know, I don't want to say anything bad is going to happen, but I would not be surprised. Let's put it that way. I would not be surprised if he was the first one to go home. So now the show airs Monday night on the West Coast. Those of us that live on the West Coast, shout out to the West Side. It starts at 5 p.m. because it's a fully live show. So it'll be on at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West. So this Monday only. Now that might be Ryan Lochte's saving grace. But you never know. I haven't seen him dance. He might be an incredible dancer, so we'll see. But remember, the judges are only one part of the equation here. The American public is the other part. So please tune in to watch Dancing for Relevancy and then talk about it with me on Twitter. I'm going to be tweeting during the show. And then on Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing this show about it because I don't really want to influence voting of the people. You know, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. We'll talk about it afterwards, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to be talking, and that's on ABC. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking all about Below Deck. I know that I've got some friends that have been waiting for that episode. So just I want to say thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful night. Ooh, I thought I was going to belch, but I didn't. Oh well. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.